And now some words from our sponsor. Flap, pustule, jowls, nugget, gurgle, smear, curd, bulbous, tender, dongle, pork, moist. Whether you're a construction worker, warehouse worker, or frankly a radio host, if you hear certain words on the job site, work can be uncomfortable. So at least get work gear that's comfortable. Timberland Pro work shirts, pants, and boots. Head to toe. Timberland Pro, not uncomfortable.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Carl Tart.
I'm Jackie's Neal.
And I'm Edgar Mobley's here.
And we are the host of a new show called Culture Kings on How Stuff Works. We cover a whole range of topics on this show, but one of the things that we talk about the most is sports because we love them. Jackie, what's the sports opinion you have?
The Cubs are the best team of all time.
That's ridiculous. Edgar?
Kevin Durant is the greatest player of all time.
Nonsense. My favorite basketball player is LeBron James. He's the king of the world, and we'll get into that on Culture Kings. Download it wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere. Just listen to it, damn it.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Oh, Guillermo putting a brown stamp on it. Guillermo putting his imprint on the show. Mike Ryan is in a hallucinatory haze, soaked in the drug of WrestleMania. I've been told it was very good. I've been told it was. I am not an adult who still watches wrestling. I tend to not trust adults who still watch wrestling. Mike Ryan would be maybe the only adult I trust who still watches wrestling. But I am to, what is it, the ladder trick? It's a ladder match? It's a match with a ladder?
What? What are you talking about? A ladder trick? It's not a magic show. You know that, right? WrestleMania is wrestling.
Did you guys? No, but it's no. Wait a minute. I would not normally associate a ladder with wrestling. You say it's wrestling, but there was a ladder involved. Someone explained to me. The audience likes when we talk wrestling. Do we have anyone here who watched WrestleMania? Anybody who cares about anything that happened on WrestleMania? Can you call and wake up Mike in a drunken stupor from New Orleans? Excuse me, I was hiccuping.
Yep, fine. I don't know.
Call Mike Ryan so I can get 30 seconds of wrestling talk here because I'm told it was amazing. And for people who care about those things, we'll talk about the Masters in a second. I don't particularly like Masters Monday because they trot out some guy I've never heard of, make him famous for that Monday, and there's not a lot ever going on in sports. They drag him through New York and everywhere else, just doing interviews, get to know our new Masters champion.
Yeah, no one wants to get to know him, though. That's the problem. Because Patrick Reed.
He's a villain, isn't he?
Listen, to golf fans, like people who follow golf like I do, Patrick Reed winning the Masters was not a surprise to anyone. Patrick Reed is a really good golfer. Really good. I sounded like Tim Kirchin there. But he is not liked at all. And in fact, I am always conditioned to root for the Americans, especially in the majors, and headed into Sunday's final round, it seemed like there were just three guys with a chance to win. That changed, obviously, with Jordan Spieth and his historic round, but it seemed like there were three guys. Rory, Patrick Reed, and Ricky Fowler. And I was rooting for a guy from England over a guy from the United States. That's how much Patrick Reed is disliked amongst the golfers and amongst the fans.
Is Tiger back? Is he still back? You said he was back. Is he still back?
No.
Okay, he's not back anymore. Never mind about him being back.
Very disappointing.
Okay, very good.
Very disappointing.
I know, but don't do that move that media members always do. I was wrong about him being back, so I'm going to be disappointed and then rip him.
I'm not going to rip him. I just wanted Tiger in contention. I didn't need him to win the thing. I thought it would have been cool with all the young guys, and they were all there yesterday. It would have been cool to have Tiger kind of in that mix in the final round. Just see how those guys react to playing with those kind of galleries screaming that loud.
If he would have played the par fives better, he would have been in it.
No doubt.
So we go out to Mike Ryan, our WrestleMania correspondent. He's got mashed potatoes in his hair. He has been celebrating his victory. He bet an American in the Masters. There were nothing but American flags at the top of the leaderboard. He polluted himself with hurricanes. He watched WrestleMania. So, Mike, give us a minute, please, on WrestleMania talk. What was the ladder match? What was that thing?
Oh, that ladder match, Dan, that wasn't a part of WrestleMania, but that was a part of WrestleMania weekend. That was a part of NXT TakeOver, kind of like the minor leagues of the WWE, and it stole the show, probably the best match of the entire weekend. If you had to pick the best match of WrestleMania, you have to go Ronda Rousey, Dan. She was incredible, an unbelievable debut, and you want to talk about something stunning, not just Patrick Reed winning the Masters, but how about Brock Lesnar retaining Suplex City, more like Swerve City?
Why are you doing a little Mel Kiper in there? In fact, give me, please, 20 more seconds on WrestleMania as Mel Kiper. Let's do it as Mel Kiper, if you don't mind.
Well, you definitely talk about a guy like Brock Lesnar. He definitely has all the tools, definitely a 5-tool player. Didn't expect him to stick with WWE this long. Apparently, he's going to stick around. Now, maybe take on a guy like Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, this is a guy that looks the part. Definitely basically a black Brock Lesnar dance.
Sounds like Mel Kiper after a bender.
It really does. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mel Kiper Jr., for joining us after a bender.
Definitely going to go to Pat O'Brien's now, have a couple hurricanes, have a couple hand grenades.
Really? At 10 a.m.? Nice.
Boy.
Get your party started. So, if you're just joining us, we were talking about some new Pat Riley quotes that have been sent out by Chuck Solitoro. Every day at 5 a.m., Chuck Solitoro wakes up and starts sending out emails, and then the mighty ESPN, like parasails, get into the sky, and then ESPN takes flight with lists of top 20s and these fresh quotes from Pat Riley.
I got something from Chuck at 4:45
That's right.
a.m.
He wakes up at 5 o'clock. I'm telling you, I know many of you have not seen Waterworld, but at the end, there is a guy, he's very old and very thin, and he evidently lives in a place that's dark and has a lot of oil in it, and it catches fire, and right before the whole thing explodes, he exclaims, "Oh, thank God, my life is finally over." That's Chuck Solitoro. He is at the bottom of ESPN as the highest executive, but like just churning stuff out so ESPN can laboriously rise to its feet like a baby elephant being born. And it's fueled by this news. Pat Riley quotes.
Yeah.
The piece from Jackie McMullen details some fresh quotes from Pat Riley, which will appear in Ian Thompson's new book, The Soul of Basketball, the epic showdown between LeBron, Kobe, Doc, and Dirk that saved the NBA. That might be a good book. That's a terrible title.
Bit wordy.
I mean, it's not just wordy. Did the epic showdown between LeBron, Kobe, Doc, and Dirk save the NBA? How did it?
No.
And are they Jackie McMullen's quotes or the author's
Well, it appears that Ian Thompson wrote a book, but that Ian Thompson doesn't work for us. And so in order to get ESPN off the ground at 5 a.m., not using Ian Thompson's book, Jackie McMullen has written a piece about Ian Thompson's book, and now we're stealing all the quotes.
So Ian Thompson wrote the book, just so I'm
That's
clear.
Right. That's correct.
And then Jackie McMullen took quotes from the book.
That's right.
And then Chuck Solitero sent those quotes out to everyone.
That's right.
Okay.
Aggregate 2018 America, baby. That's right. That's exactly how that happened. Chuck Solitero, you're welcome at any point to come here and defend yourself as a high-ranking executive.
So we really had nothing to do with this story.
No.
Okay.
I mean, ESPN has just come in and taken it. We've made it our own because somebody said something about LeBron. Can we have it? So, because this is key to getting the ESPN parasails up in the air. Just LeBron hot air.
Listen, you heard it here first. From us, from Chuck, from Jackie, from Ian. First.
You heard it here first. Fourth, really. You heard it here fourth. First Ian did it, then Jackie saw it and wrote about it, then Chuck woke up at 5 a.m., and we were fourth to this story, and now we're going to give you these Pat Riley quotes. He lives a couple of blocks from me, but we took like a real roundabout way here to try to get to the Pat Riley quote.
Did Golick and Wingo mention the quotes?
I don't know.
Well, that's a good question. We might be fifth. That's a very, very good point.
Did they mention the quotes? We have some fresh Pat Riley quotes. We've got Mean Gene Okerlund is going to join us to recap WrestleMania at noon. And M. Shadows is going to break down the Masters with us, that heavy metal lead singer guy, that Megadeth guy.
Avenged Sevenfold, man.
Thank you. That death metal, not Megadeth. Death metal lead singer is going to join us to break down the Masters because we think it's funny. The two worlds don't really fit together.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Riley said is that in a meeting with LeBron, Wade, and Bosch in 2010, November, right around when they were 9-8, and, LeBron had just bumped Spo on the court in Dallas. They're losing, and LeBron, during a timeout, bumps Spo. That those guys came to him and said, do you ever get the itch to coach again? And he's like, I don't have the itch. And there were no more questions, and he didn't offer any more answers. But the implication was clear. LeBron, Wade, and Bosch in a meeting were asking Riley if he wanted to coach again. And that LeBron left the room scratching his leg like it was actually itching. Because do you ever get the itch? So that's the money quote that we've stolen from Ian Thompson through Jackie McMullen and Chuck Solituro, right?
Yep, had it here first.
Fourth, and one of the things that he has not said before, this is not something I believe that Pat Riley has said before. When LeBron left in 2014, quote, I had 2 to 3 days of tremendous anger. I was absolutely livid, which I expressed to myself and my closest friends. I can tell you that was so. That hurt Riley and his ego. I've never seen him that upset about anything.
Right. I mean, LeBron, listen, understandable, right? LeBron comes down here. He's never won championships. They get 2 in 4 years, made the finals 4 consecutive years, and Riley's really good at his job, right? He's really good. Like, LeBron should have had every confidence that Riley would have continued to surround himself with enough to win championships.
It worked out for LeBron.
It did. Worked out for Riley.
LeBron, well, I mean, okay. It worked out okay for Riley. You won a couple of championships. If I told you at the time in 2010, when they're celebrating like rock stars before they've played a game and they've gotten them angry, how many championships is this going to produce? You wouldn't have stopped at 2.
No, you're right.
Like, you wouldn't have said 2 is the big achievement. You would have said no, because it didn't seem like it was going to be 4 years there. It seemed like it was going to be like that. They were going to be the Warriors. Like, you don't expect Kevin Durant to leave this season or the next, or you're expecting Kevin Durant to be there through the Steph Curry year.
No, I'm not. If they lose to Houston, I expect them to leave and join the Rockets. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Let's go back to Mel Kiper Jr.'s list of divas.
Number 2, definitely on my diva big board, is Whitney Houston. Definitely been going back and forth on this one throughout the process. Dan certainly has all the tools. You talk about it in I Will Always Love You, arguably the greatest ballad of all time, but ultimately I couldn't escape the off-the-field concerns. Hanging around with a shady group. Dan, this has a lot of team executives a little nervous, a little gun-shy to pull the trigger on Whitney Houston.
He's dead!
That would be an off-the-field concern, Dan.
Stugotz.
Number 1, Beyonce Knowles, 5'7", 137 pounds, extremely confident in her abilities, powerful voice, incredible agility, has proven she can be part of a team, but also go out on her own and win you a game. Astonishing lower body strength, too. She could probably squat a cement truck, Dano. Consider me a loud and proud member of the Beehive. She's overcome a lot of adversity, weak teammates, lack of roster continuity, pregnancies. Becky with the good hair displayed incredible resiliency. There's a reason she's bae.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So Stugotz has a beef with MLB Network, and before we go too far down this path, Guillermo, can you find out for me? Mike Ryan's beat up. He went and consumed Bourbon Street at WrestleMania. We learned during the last segment that it would appear that limited fake Mel Kiper Jr. needs some rest and some warm-up. Can't be a night of drinking. I heard Guillermo and Stugotz talking during the break. Before we get to MLB Network and why Stugotz is feuding with the MLB Network, and Guillermo, I need to find out what our corporate sponsorships are with the MLB Network, because now I'm in too deep, so we got to keep it moving. Because now MLB Network does stuff for ESPN, and I don't know what your problem is with MLB Network.
Well, there's just some really glorious sound of Chris Russo, who does, I think the name of his show is called High Heat. High Heat, is that right? And I think it's a show that we air on ESPN. I'm pretty certain it is. I know we air some of their programming, right, Chris?
We've agreed to terms to air some of their programming, and some of it has already replaced Baseball Tonight.
Intentional Talk, I know we've aired. I'm not sure about High Heat.
Okay, so Russo had Mike Francesa on, his old radio partner on WFAN in New York, and they're legends, and they're guys I grew up listening to, but they had a great segment about a week and a half ago talking about Ohtani of the Angels and how basically he's going to be a bust, and they're happy the Yankees don't have him, and there's nothing the Angels could do because they paid him so much that they have to have him on the big, the major league roster, because you can't have a guy like that paying him that much. Essentially, Babe Ruth is what they called him, and you can't have that guy floating around the minors. They mock this guy relentlessly, and he's the biggest star in the sport right now.
Well, hold on a second. Let's we'll tell people what he's doing, because he had, as of recently, more home runs than the Marlins.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually paid a lot of money for him. I think because of international rules and whatnot, he's a monster prospect who's supposed to be, the Japanese Mike Trout. And he's a pitcher. He pitches, too. Wasn't he throwing like 100 on the black? He pitches also.
Well, Dan, I think he has 3 homers thus far, 2 wins. He had a perfect game going for 6 1/3 innings yesterday. He's just been in a lot of strikeouts. He's been exciting. He's been fantastic to watch. He's been fun for the game of baseball. He really has.
Needs that so badly.
No doubt.
Baseball needs somebody to be a national star, man. This guy is on a team with the best baseball player many of you have ever seen, and nobody would know Mike Trout if he walked into a restaurant in half the country.
Yep.
And baseball so badly needs something like this. Wait a minute. He does what? He throws 100 on the black and he hits home runs. He's Japanese Deion Sanders, but he pitches too.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And obviously he's gotten off to a great start. So I'm upset because we asked for the sound. We wanted to play for the audience. We thought it'd be funny, and MLB Network said no.
They said no.
Yes.
Yeah, they paid $20 million posting fee to the team to get him, but they're only paying him like a $3.5 million bonus, and he's only making like $500K.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing for the sport to have that guy. So, wait a minute. Mike and the Mad Dog were on together. I thought Francesa quit. He's already lurking around the microphones again. I thought there was a big fanfare about him retiring.
Well, I think he has to sit out for radio purposes for like 6 months. But I think, yes, he is starting to lurk. He is making a day by day, Dan, slowly but surely, Mike Francesa is making a comeback. And so, yes, he joined Chris Russo.
Comeback? He just left 4 minutes ago.
He's coming back, man. You're going to have to tear away the microphone from that guy. Okay?
But I thought we already did.
Well, he did. Listen, he decided he no longer wanted to be a WFAN. And so, that was his decision. But I have read, I'm keeping track of these things because I love Francesa so much.
And because you are always looking through the classifieds for a better job.
Yeah, that too. So I'm keeping track of all this, and it appears that Francesa is going to come back. I don't know in what form. It might be with Russo. It might not be with Russo. I don't know. But I am
he's
keeping a
sniffing
close eye on
around
this.
Russo. Francesa, you're sniffing around those old crackers. Francesa's looking at an old relationship, an old fling. He went out on his own, and those single days were good. Lived high on the hog. But now he looks across the room, and there's Mad Dog, and an old love has been rekindled.
I was watching that segment, watching it back yesterday, and watching them just be so arrogant, like know-it-alls. Like, they know what Ohtani is going to be.
They've been scouting.
No one else
They've been
does.
scouting so much Japanese baseball, and they really were immersed in the Cactus League as well when he was having that 27 ERA during the spring.
But I watched these two gas bags.
I saw Francesa and Mad Dog. They were taking notes at the Cactus League game.
But I watched these two gas bags that I loved. I grew up wanting to be Christopher Russo. That's who I wanted to be, and now I'm just mocking Christopher Russo.
You are Christopher Russo. What do you mean? You grew up. All your dreams have come true.
All right. I'm the dog. I'm the new dog. But here's the thing, man.
You are the new dog.
I watched that. Yeah. I played it back and I watched it, and I was saying to myself, how did I ever like these guys?
Uncle Fatty's new water world isn't going to pay for itself.
You're so pompous and arrogant.
Yeah, but you're acting like you're not Russo when I heard you in the other room during the break saying, I think Jeter fleeced the Marlins on that Stanton deal.
Fleeced the Yankees. That's a 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. Jeter robbed them.
Joke.
I mean, geez.
Don Lebatard.
Tom Ricketts is saying that the Cubs will not allow Sammy Sosa back into that organization for anything moving forward until he comes clean. And what I find absurd about that, and what a hypocrite this guy is that family made hundreds of millions of dollars off the name Sammy Sosa. By the way, never tested positive for steroid use. And if he was using steroids, which we all assume that he was, my guess is if he was using it, the Ricketts family had an inkling that was going on in their own clubhouse. And for him to come out many, many years later and say Sammy Sosa must come clean for us to allow him back into our prestigious organization, our club, get out of here with that.
Stugotz.
Yeah, Ricketts didn't make money off Sammy Sosa. He won the bid in 2009. This was post Sammy Sosa.
Well, that ruins my argument.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Are you excited about Masters talk today, Patrick Reed talk? Can you help me with something? The Monday after the Masters, we're sort of obligated to talk Masters, it feels like, in sports content because there's not a whole lot else going on. NBA season is winding down. Baseball is just starting. There's not much happening right now. So the Masters champion tends to get Mondays.
Right.
But I don't care about the Masters champion, and I don't know what golf has to do to get the Tiger crowd back into the tent or the expanded crowd back into the tent when Patrick Reed is a villain, a legitimate, golf has someone who is not liked by the other golfers. He is legitimately villainous. He's holding up this trophy. It's whatever it is, the seventh first-time major winner in the last 8 years to win
Augusta,
at the Masters.
Yep.
This Patrick Reed, am I supposed to get excited about that? Are people excited about that?
Well, no, people are disappointed about that. I happen to think a villain in golf is a good thing. The Tiger crowd did come back because the ratings were up every single round. Ratings were up, and that's just because Tiger was there. Final round always does pretty well, but it was up from last year. And Ricky Fowler, it was odd, Dan, because Ricky Fowler posted a score that would have won him the Masters all but 6 or 7 times in the history of golf. So I felt badly for him. But this is not a popular champion. This is a guy who was accused of cheating in college. There are countless stories that have been written about him, told by caddies, told by people on tour. Just what an unctuous bleep this guy can be.
Oh, but I love that.
It's like,
can you get me some? Can you guys get me some unctuous bleep details, please? Because, man, I love the idea of golf having a real jerk.
Right? I think it's good. Now, listen. American golf fans, they like him because he's been great in the Ryder Cup. Not good. He's been great in the Ryder Cup, and that's all about the flag and everything. But I'm telling you, yesterday, no one wanted to see that guy win. Not many people wanted to see that guy win that tournament. Not even Americans, not even guys on tour who are American.
Hold on a second.
Not even guys who are on his Ryder Cup team.
Hold on.
They don't like him, Dad.
That's got to be good for golf, no? I understand that everyone likes the beloved guy or loves the beloved guy, and everyone wants to be liked or has some small part of themselves that want to be liked. But even when Adam Sandler is taking a golf club to the etiquette of golf in his character.
Right.
Even when he's doing that, you're rooting for him.
But this is different.
Who's rooting for Patrick Reed? Who's rooting for him? And the idea that everyone is against him, shouldn't that be good for everyone but Patrick Reed in golf? The idea, I would love for golf to have a Floyd Mayweather, a Nick Saban, a guy who gets so good that he's making people angry when he wins.
This isn't about him getting so good, although he is good. This is him after winning at Doral down here, his third victory on the PGA Tour, saying I'm a top 5 golfer in the world. He hasn't won a major, hasn't done anything. I'm a top 5 golfer in the world.
And how about yesterday? Was he or wasn't he?
He was the best golfer in the world yesterday.
All right.
Well, I don't know. Spieth was probably the best golfer in the world yesterday.
Over the weekend, who was the best golfer in the world?
Over the 4 days, Patrick Reed was the best golfer in the world.
Okay, so you don't like arrogance with your golf? Because I do.
No, I like arrogance with my golf, and he doesn't really take a bat to the etiquette of golf. He's fine. He's professional on the course. It's the stuff the stories that you've heard. Dan, I'll give you an example.
No, the reason I understand what you're saying, a clarification on my end. I'm not talking about etiquette on the course. I am talking about etiquette, gentleman's sport. We're going to behave with decorum.
Right. Well, Tiger changed all that. So
did he?
Well, he did with the fist bumps and all that stuff that we loved. And when Patrick Reed does it, we hate it. Figure that one out. Go ahead, I dare you.
Well,
we love it when Tiger does it. We hate it when Patrick Reed.
Why are you daring me to do that? We like Tiger. We don't like Patrick Reed. Why are you daring me to do that?
Find that part interesting. Don't you? Isn't that shocking to you?
Who's rooting for Patrick Reed?
I'm not even certain his parents are rooting for Patrick Reed. I'm serious. He had them kicked out of the U.S. Open in the middle of a round because they showed up to watch their son.
Wait a minute. I need to hear more. So that doesn't sound right. There seem to be some details missing on that story.
I'm telling you right now, Dan.
Wait a minute.
And he was accused of cheating by his teammates at not 1 but 2 colleges. So much so, they made it to the NCAA championships, okay? And his team, the members on his team, went up to the other team. And they said, reportedly, and they said, listen, we want to win this thing, but we hope you beat Patrick.
Why have you been keeping this guy a secret from me all this time?
I don't know.
Why is there a villainous golfer and all you keep talking about is Tiger's back? All you want to do as a radio show is Tiger's back.
Yeah.
Is he back? You got a legitimately villainous cheater who's arrogant in golf, and nobody told me.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Why didn't anybody tell me?
It's a fair.
I want to get behind the Patrick Reed freight train right now.
Oh, he's your guy?
I mean,
yeah, he's your guy.
Nobody likes him. Nobody likes him in golf. Yes, I want him to win every tournament. Why? But you would agree that that's good for sports, right? Belichick, you root for him to lose, you tune in. Saban, you root for him to lose, you tune in.
Yep.
Mayweather, you root for him to lose, you tune in. Like, if this guy's legitimately unlikable, how's that bad for the sport?
No, I think it's good for the sport. Now, Phil Mickelson was unlikable at the beginning and then became beloved, but no, it's good for the sport. Like Spieth and Patrick Reed in a final round will be something that's cool because you have the golf guy, Jordan Spieth, going against Patrick Reed.
What I'm saying to you is this. You've heard me say before that hockey players, they're very accessible, they're very kind, but and they can be honest as well, but people don't tend to care very much about hockey. Basketball players have the most freedom to speak publicly freely. Football doesn't have any freedom. Baseball has a lot of people in it who aren't good quotes, and they got to respect the game and all that stuff. But is there anywhere that you can think of in sports that needs the bombast of boxing more than golf in terms of just infusing it with some personality?
Baseball.
I mean, that's what we were talking about with the Japanese angel. What's his name?
Ohtani.
I'm going to get that wrong every time.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Reed also reportedly stole from his college teammates. So that's...
See, this is what I'm talking about.
A watch.
Why did you guys keep this secret from me? Why was this secret kept from me?
Bat mitzvahs are expensive. Time for some ads.
He stole a watch and some cash from one of his teammates in college. I mean,
He's
this
a
guy.
shoplifter? This guy's he's a thief, too? He's an arrogant, cheating thief?
And then these guys play these practice rounds, okay? They play these practice rounds, and they're all trying to get him in. And there's a story of some guys going up to Patrick saying, hey, can we join you? So sometimes you're on the course, and the public's out there. And you're trying to get through it so everyone can get their practice rounds in. So, like, 3 strangers said, hey, we don't want to bother you, but can we play 9 with you just so the other pros can get their practice round in? He said, no, I'm good. They said, but, and he goes, you didn't hear me the first time, I'm good. This guy.
This is you, Stugotz. Stugotz. Patrick Reed is Stugotz. Put it on the poll. Is Patrick Reed Stugotz? That's totally something you would do if you were as good as Patrick Reed.
Totally.
Sometimes it's hard to find a satisfying vape that's simple and convenient. Blue, who introduced vaping to the world, is now introducing My Blue. My Blue gives you all the satisfaction with none of the hassle. Just click and go. With My Blue's easy-to-use one...
Don Le Batard.
Why do we still do this, honestly?
Why do we still work with him? Why do we put ourselves
halfway
in this position?
through?
Why do we work with this person?
Old.
We should stop working with him.
Yeah.
We have offers.
We need to find something.
You have offers. I don't have offers.
Stugotz.
Oh, hey, Dan.
Hey, man, what's up?
Back. We were just talking about how much of a delight you are.
So we pivoted. I think we're in a good place. This
yeah,
really
it's going to be so good this year. Get ready.
Great to see you guys so confident.
Yeah. Flying high.
Yep. This is going to be an utter disaster.
He's still here.
I've been working with him for 12 years, and I still go home upset with myself that I allow this to happen.
I am clinically depressed because of this guy.
By the way, support at my house on Wednesday night.
Really?
Yeah.
I need it after this. I'll see you there.
I hate him.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So I think I heard you guys right. You said last segment that Patrick Reed, your new Masters champion, kicked his parents out of the U.S. Open. Did I hear you people correctly saying, what is the story here with Patrick Reed and his family and his parents? And Stugotz was reporting during the break that Patrick Reed's mom doesn't like that he won the Masters. I don't know why he would report that.
Well, his estranged mom, she was just quoted yesterday saying, my son won the Masters. Not exactly exciting, but you would understand why. I mean, he kicked his parents out of the U.S. Open for merely showing up to watch their son. Didn't want him there. Didn't want him around. And so I'm not certain if mom is actually happy about the news, you know?
Wait, that was the whole quote? My son won the Masters?
Yeah.
She was asked for comment, and she just gave a statement of fact.
Yeah, let me see if there's more.
The bare minimum maternal love. Like, just to state a fact. My son won that was the quote? Was she asking a question? My son won the Masters?
No, I'm looking for, it's a whole story about their relationship, and, again, I don't think she's happy. I mean, but I got to find this.
Okay, it's okay. It's not important. I just want to hear more villainous things about this Patrick Reed. You've gotten me interested in a Masters champion. If I can't have Tiger, if I can't have names up there that I've been rooting for 10 or 15 years, give me a villain above anything else. Give me, like, I know you've been telling me for a while how good Fowler and Day and Spieth are, but give me a guy everyone dislikes. I would like those guys so much more if they were that good and everyone disliked them.
I can tell you that Bubba Watson's another guy that the tour players don't really like.
Isn't that because he owns the Dukes of Hazzard car and is kind of like he's a bit of a redneck in the gentleman's world? Isn't that part of what's happening there?
Maybe that plays into it. I will tell you that, and I forget which publication did it, and I'll find it. But someone polled 100 guys on tour, and they asked about the guys on the tour you'd be least likely to help out in a fight. And Patrick Reed and Bubba Watson.
That's great.
Those were the two guys.
Also, Patrick Reed got a little bit of a gut. We like that.
Well, see, facts and info. You need to give me as much Patrick Reed info as you can. Now, I am now obsessed with the new Masters champion. I hate Masters Mondays, have for 20 years. Because I'm for somebody is the whole weekend is what Stugotz says. The first day, there are a couple of names out there. You'll get them out of the way. Yeah. And then at the end, you'll largely be disappointed because, Tiger's not as back as Stugotz said he was.
Did you say before that you were reporting that his mother's having mixed emotions based on the quote? Because I found the article that you were talking about on golf.com, and the headline is, "My son is a Masters champion. Patrick Reed's estranged mother-in-law endures complex mix of emotions." So it's just the headline.
That's it. Yeah, I mean,
you weren't quoting anybody. It was just you were just reading a headline and you made it a quote. You heard it here first, people. Right here at ESPN. When we try to do it first, instead of going from Chuck Solitoro through Jackie McMullen to Ian Thompson, when we try to do it first, that's how it comes out.
Here it is. You tell me.
Tell me what the quote is.
Well, I mean, what's that little thing before the my? What is that?
It looks like a quote mark from here, but I don't have my glasses on,
right.
And the computer's about 10 yards away from me.
So it says, "My son is a Masters champion," and then the thing that is before my is also after champion. So I just figured that was a quote.
Those are quote marks? All right. Well, Guillermo, defend yourself. Is it indeed a quote that her son is a Masters champion? Or is it merely a fact that her son is a Masters champion? Or is it merely a headline that her son is a Masters champion?
Well, it's a fact and a headline. There are two quote marks. It's hard to find in this article in his defense, though. I mean, there's like
what are the quotes from the mom?
That's hard to find.
What are the quotes from the mom?
I'll try to find it, but I'm pretty certain the quotes are, "I'm not happy my son won the Masters."
Somebody get me the mom!
Ryan! I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
And now some words from our sponsor. Flap, pustule, jowls, nugget, gurgle, smear, curd, bulbous, tender, dongle, pork, moist. Whether you're a construction worker, warehouse worker, or frankly a radio host, if you hear certain words on the job site, work can be uncomfortable. So at least get work gear that's comfortable. Timberland Pro work shirts, pants, and boots. Head to toe. Timberland Pro, not uncomfortable.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Carl Tart.
I'm Jackie's Neil.
And I'm Edgar Mobley's
And we are the host of a new show called Culture Kings on How Stuff Works. We cover a whole range of topics on this show, but one of the things that we talk about the most is sports because we love them. Jackie, what's the sports opinion you have?
The Cubs are the best team of all time.
That's ridiculous. Edgar?
Kevin Durant is the greatest player of all time.
Nonsense. My favorite basketball player is LeBron James. He's the king of the world, and we'll get into that on Culture Kings. Download it wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere. Just listen to it, damn it.
Don Le Batard.
That's ridiculous. Idiot. I know it was a terrible Barkley impersonation.
Never heard it before. It was just
Sui nominee.
Stugotz.
Really bad.
You guys want to try all your Barkleys?
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
That's pretty good. That's better. Anyone else want to get in on the bidding?
Ernie, Dan Le Batard is an idiot. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I don't want to go after that.
Yeah, Kitty. Let me tell you something, Kitty. That Dan Le Batard is an idiot.
Thank you, Roy.
You're welcome, Dan.
Tell your fat daddy I hate him.
Oh! Fat Chris making an appearance. Fat Chris once again a surprise.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Commercial insurance through Progressive protects your business and your dreams. Choose from over 30 coverage options at progressivecommercial.com today. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. 2018 Masters champion Patrick Reed is scheduled to join Golic and Wingo tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'd love to give those guys questions to ask.
Oh, we'd do a better interview. Come on, Patrick Reed. Come on this show.
Not that they can't handle the interview. I want stories about him being an unctuous bleep. That's all I want.
That's all I want.
Yeah. And I think he'd give him up because I think he's proud of it. I don't think he cares.
I think golf could use something like that.
Yeah. Here's your SportsCenter update. Giancarlo Stanton posted another platinum sombrero on Sunday, his second of the season.
He struck out. He's going to hit so many home runs. Get your laughs out now. Get your laughs out now because he's going to hit so many home runs.
Anyway, he went 0 for 7. Here's some more good news. Yankees lost again.
0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts. Good God. So he's got 2 5-strikeout games. He's got 2 the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah. Batting $167.
It's that stuff sliding away from the outside corner, isn't it? That damn pitch.
They're onto him
I
already.
mean, that guy, if it wasn't for that pitch, that sliding thing on the outside corner that he always misses by 3 feet.
Yeah. He'll adjust, though, man.
Yes, he will.
The Stanley Cup playoffs get underway Wednesday. The Predators won the President's Trophy, and the Lightning took top spot in the Eastern Conference. And finally, Russell Crowe's The Art of Divorce auction raked in $2.8 million, which included the selling of a chest protector that he wore in the Oscar-winning film Gladiator that went for $96,000.
Allison, can you get me some more details on this, please? I want some more details on the Art of Divorce auction. Maybe we can get a guest on that can explain to us everything. This is a funny thing. He made $3 million just selling his divorce stuff? $3 million Russell Crowe did. You just read the story. Did you not remember the number?
Yeah, it was $2.8 million. That's a fun. Listen, I'm all about accuracy on this show, and you got it wrong. $2.8 million.
It's actually 3.7.
For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Allison, help me out here because you're the voice of reason. And by the way, Stugotz, you owe $2 for the last segment. You read the internet wrong. Can you give us the real story about Patrick Reed, villainous Masters champion? Stugotz botched everything about the quotes, the everything the mother said. What do you have for us?
Well, he is estranged with his parents, and his wife Justine has written on social media in 2016. She claimed that there was physical and verbal abuse in his childhood. They've denied that, but that's where the estrangement is coming from.
Jeanette Reed said, quote, "I can't believe my son is the Masters champion. It's surreal. It was a dizzying mix of pride and pain."
Which is fair.
Well, I mean, if he kicked them out of the U.S. Open, they went, like, Stugotz is, as he often does, armed with just selective facts that he wants to use to
I read this article, actually.
No, as cruel weapons, but you
Short one.
Well, but what you said about the article, first of all, you've read all the articles poorly so far.
No doubt.
But what you said is all they wanted to do. You were slanting the argument in your favor. All his poor old parents wanted to do was see their son play. and he got them kicked out of the U.S. Open. That's how you presented it. Now, Allison comes with some more facts, and now we learn, maybe he didn't want them there because they beat him. That changes the story a bit.
It certainly does, yes. And you would understand why.
Yes, but I want to laugh more at the idea of villainous golfer. I'm not even sure why we're examining it. Why do we care about his parental relationship?
I'm not saying that wasn't the case. Maybe his parents did indeed do that. What I am telling you is no one believes a single word that comes out of Patrick Reed's mouth. Nobody. I'm telling you that right now. And take it with a grain of salt. Okay? I'm not saying it didn't happen. It most certainly, maybe it did. And if it did, I totally understand why he wouldn't want his parents around. But I'm just telling you, we're dealing with a guy who cheated in college, whose teammates were rooting against him, and reportedly he stole a watch and some money. So, I don't know what to do with all this.
Well, clearly you don't know what to do with it because you actually just said the phrase, most certainly maybe. Like that, those words can't go together.
That would suggest conflicted, yeah.
Guillermo, please play it back so you can find out what I got to get that sound back of Stugotz most certainly saying maybe, which is in the pantheon of trust me, don't trust me on things he's ever said. Most certainly maybe is the most certain maybe. Maybe can't be most certain.
In my world.
Maybe most certainly. Stugotz, in his world, is feuding with Highly Questionable, the trivia show. Have you heard about this, Guillermo?
What now?
He's mad. Look.
Bad.
He has been, much like he was calling Dan Patrick's producers to get on Sports Jeopardy, he's been trying to create a relationship with this Highly Questionable trivia guy so that he can get on there and co-host.
Yep, I've been doing that, and Scott's his name. He's the host, and the show. I mean, I'm telling you, it's an app. It's it's trivia. It's for a lot of money, and it's something that since Scott's been on with us, I don't know if you guys have noticed. Allison, you've noticed this, right? The Stugotz Army, every game he plays, they are peppering HQ and Scott with, "Hey, we want Stu to host this thing," and so I asked Allison for the PR person, the contact at HQ. And I sent an email to her, I believe, about a week ago, offering my services to fill in for Scott when he's not there because celebrities want a piece of this thing. It's become so big that The Rock is going to use their platform to promote his new movie coming out, Rampage, which, great name, love it, I'm there. Okay? But he's going to host the show to promote his movie. So I'm figuring.
Hold on.
Okay.
If you could, just put it on the poll, a formula. Is The Rock plus Rampage equal to Stugotz? The Rock in a movie called Rampage.
Right.
Those two things, one plus the other, do they equal a Stugotz? Do they get 5 Stugotz blood fists?
Now, they, I mean, it's going to be such a good movie.
The highest rating.
How could it be bad?
The highest rating in the Stugotz movie critiquing business is 5 blood fists.
I mean, impossible for The Rock movie called Rampage to be bad, but I'm concerned here because no one's responded to me from HQ, and I was going to send a follow-up today. But now with this news,
yes.
I think my window's closed.
Is the window
because when
closed?
You go to The Rock, you're not coming back down to me.
Guillermo, the whole thing may have climbed over Stugotz's neck and into the hands of The Rock, who doesn't have quite enough work.
I don't want to betray Stugotz's confidence here, but I remember talking to him about 3 or 4 weeks ago where he was close to hosting HQ, according to him. But then they started taking over HQ with the Stugotz Army stuff, and then I think he was holding out.
Was there an actual negotiation and they thundered in and got The Rock to replace you? The Rock promoting his movie Rampage?
There was, weeks ago, I thought I had a really good chance of being able to do this. I did. And now I haven't. Now, that was with a different person. And now the person that I'm supposed to go to, she is not, sharing the enthusiasm that the other person had when I originally spoke to them. And my fear is this is not going to happen.
Was this before or after you and Scott discussed his kids, which he doesn't have, going to the same camp as yours? And being
maybe. Listen, I mean, they didn't meet my number. And now the number's lower. A lot lower, HQ. You win. You won this negotiation. I came at you with a number. You came back at me with a rock.
This show ain't free. Time for some ads.
The Rock's doing it for free, man.
You win this round, HQ negotiators.
Let me tell you, free was a lot lower than my number, man. I didn't do it to promote our show.
You did it to promote you. You want a rampage. you want a money-grabbing rampage. Stugotz stars in Rampage. What does it look like? He's just rifling through your pockets. It's 2 hours. Stugotz
rampage in your wallet.
Imagine him hosting the show and just giving the wrong answers
Yes,
because he's reading it wrong.
Of course. That's correct. He would have had one job. He would have done it poorly. $1 million, please.
To the wrong person.
That's right.
I would have given it
the wrong winner.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Stugotz lies so much, and he doesn't take inventory of his lies, that even when he's telling the truth, we don't believe him on anything. What's wrong, Stugotz? What are you objecting to?
I mean, listen, I've done this to myself, so I'm frustrated at myself. I'm not going to lash out elsewhere because I understand why everyone would think that I was the one who did this. But I am sitting here telling you guys that I did not do it.
Stugotz.
You absolutely took a bite out of a piece of pizza and put it back with the rest of the pizza.
It was me.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We have got some new Pat Riley quotes that would seem to indicate a public mending with LeBron James that, not coincidentally, I don't think, becomes available now. As LeBron, a couple of games left in the regular season, LeBron's heading into the playoffs where he might meet the Miami Heat. And if he's looking for landing places, there are a lot of people trying to get in this game. Philadelphia, I'd go to Philadelphia if I were him.
Really?
Yes.
What if the Cavs can use that the pick they got from the Kyrie trade to get Kawhi to Cleveland? Would you still stay in Cleveland? Then you got LeBron, Kawhi, and Kevin Love.
Kawhi, can he be had for that?
I mean, that's pretty good, right?
Well,
that'd be a pretty good offer.
It's a good offer, but I guess Kawhi Leonard, are you likely to get with your top pick someone as good as Kawhi Leonard?
No.
So I mean I would think Kawhi Leonard would a young superstar. I would think that would have value across the sport in a way that would fetch even more than that. Even understanding that a lottery pick is plenty of value.
Right. But you go to Philadelphia. If you were to leave Cleveland?
I would, yes. But I don't care about this because people are LeBron, we talk about him too much on this network, and I'd rather make fun of Stugotz. So, Guillermo, do you have the sound of Stugotz most certainly maybeing me? What was it even in response to? Do you have the context? Does this sound have the context?
This was him talking about Patrick Reed's relationship with his family.
Okay, so this is Stugotz. Now, again, Allison, can you give us the facts on this? Because Stugotz, all he did was speculate soap opera, and he was like, Patrick Reed's poor parents, they're just coming to the U.S. Open, and Patrick Reed's a jerk, so he kicks his parents out.
Well, his wife, Justine, had them escorted out, and it comes from an estrangement that she's reportedly made some posts on Facebook that has accused them of physical and verbal abuse, which they have denied.
And so within that, Stugotz had very passionate feelings, and he spoke with a lot of conviction on how Patrick Reed felt, even though all he did was read the internet wrong and couldn't come up with anything that was definitive. So this was his definitive.
I'm not saying that wasn't the case. Maybe his parents did indeed do that. What I am telling you is no one believes a single word that comes out of Patrick Reed's mouth. Nobody. I'm telling you that right now. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay? I'm not saying it didn't happen. It most certainly, maybe it did. And if it did, I totally understand why he wouldn't want his parents around. didn't say that correctly? Or?
That is just great that it can't be most certainly maybe. But LeBron back to Miami?
Yes.
Most certainly maybe. Most certainly maybe. So these Riley quotes through Jackie McMullen stolen from Ian Thompson. Ian Thompson's got a new book. Jackie McMullen has an article about it.
I think Jackie stole them from Ian. Chuck stole them from Jackie. Chuck put them out to us, and now everyone's just
Somebody
stealing.
wrote a book. They talked to Pat Riley. It's not ESPN's work. We stole it.
Yep.
And wrapped it up in Jackie McMullen's credibility, so it would appear less stolen. But it's still stolen, as far as I can tell. Jackie McMullen wrote a story about a book. In that book, there are quotes that are newsworthy. ESPN is trafficking in the newsworthy because we're sitting here talking about Patrick Reed for 2.5 segments and his relationship with his family.
It is so odd. I'm rereading the email Chuck sent. What are we doing?
That's right.
This piece from Jackie McMullen details some fresh quotes from Pat Riley, which will appear in Ian Thompson's new book.
That is correct. A future book. We are selling the book of Ian Thompson by taking his news today so you don't have to read the book.
We're selling a Jackie McMullen article. It's totally unfair to Ian Thompson.
Totally unfair. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Has ESPN been totally unfair to Ian Thompson? Because we're selling his book. His bogus book, I might add, about how Dirk and Doc saved the NBA. Get out of here. It was LeBron and only LeBron. It wasn't anybody else.
Right.
Don't talk to me about Dirk and Doc and what? It was LeBron. Yep. Have you seen what's happened since? To everybody involved in this scenario.
It's gotten fun. All of it. In season, out of season, free agency. All because LeBron decided to come down here. I'd like to have Ian Thompson on just to see if he's annoyed by what we're doing to him.
You think we should? All right. Call Ian Thompson so we can borrow more of his work. We'll go ahead and ask him if he's annoyed or if it's okay with him that Jackie McMullen and we have ripped off the quotes from his book. But Pat Riley in the book says that Wade and Bosh and LeBron came to him early in their being together. 9 and 8, they started their first season in 2010, and that they were talking. We're not feeling it. We're not feeling it, or some such thing. And then LeBron asked him, and it was an unanswered question, do you ever get the itch? They were trying to, it felt like a coup, a passive-aggressive coup on Eric Spoelstra, and LeBron left his office, Riley's office, scratching his leg, according to Pat Riley. Scratching his leg, do you ever get the itch? Do you ever get the itch? That should have told Riley, actually, very early on.
Right then
hey,
and there.
This guy does things a little passively.
Yes.
We're not feeling it. It's not like I'm not telling you what to do. Just do you ever get the itch, coach? Like the idea that Riley's revealing that story and telling you within the story, I knew what he was asking and I gave him no answers. I said, Eric Spoelstra's your coach.
I find it fascinating because I think it lends some credence to a lot of people. That's right after the game where LeBron bumped Eric Spoelstra. They said it was an accident. A lot of people have speculated about it. And I'm not saying it wasn't an accident. But to go in after that game and say, hey, do you ever get the itch? We're not really feeling it. And the other fascinating part about that is Dwayne Wade sitting right there because they means LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. All three of them went in there and had this discussion. Eric Spoelstra and Dwayne Wade are about as close as you can get. And so I do wonder how Spoelstra, now maybe Wade's talked to him about it since, but I do wonder, if not, how Spoelstra absorbs that news today.
I wonder a lot of things in the Riley and Spoelstra relationship. But what I thought was curious about the excerpts in this book, where Riley talks about how livid he was about LeBron leaving, but that he came to understand the need to go home, and that he was genuinely rooting for him. I remember asking him during that. He was genuinely rooting for LeBron in Cleveland to win in Cleveland. And so now publicly, Riley is saying the right things about relationship repair. But within that, Stugotz, would you not agree? Within that, while saying the right things publicly about relationship repair, if indeed you're doing that in part to woo LeBron James, telling that story about Bosh, Wade, and LeBron is a bit of a betrayal, is it not? If you're actually trying to lure LeBron back, feeling the need to point out, like, yeah, everybody was trying to get Spo fired, while it might be honest.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, it probably hampers your quest to get him back to Miami.
I mean,
a little bit, right?
I wouldn't like it very much if I were Wade, Bosh, and I wouldn't like his interpretation of events very much if I was Wade, Bosh, or LeBron.
Are we 100% sure he was actually rooting for LeBron to win the finals? Because here's what I'm thinking happened.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he reaches out and he tells LeBron, listen, I really want you to win the NBA finals here.
Why is he Stugotz?
I don't know. I really want you to win the NBA finals.
No. This is how you have to talk when you're insincere and you're lying.
Yeah.
You talk like me.
But what he's really doing here, Dan, he's not rooting for him to win. No. He's trying to get into his head. Yeah. Because then LeBron sees it and he's like, wow, we finally moved past this, me and Pat.
$2.
Dan Le Batard.
It's a beautiful sport. Basketball is just hugely graceful.
Stugotz.
In the Western Conference.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, we got a bunch of things to get to here. We got a lead singer for a metal band who's going to break down the Masters with us, and Mean Gene Okerlund, as we continue to try and skew younger and younger. The famed wrestling announcer, 75 years old, Mean Gene Okerlund, going to join us in the noon Eastern hour. But it is time for our stat of the day. Stat of the day. Give me the short open, Guillermo, please.
Stat of the day, stat of the day. It is the stat of the day. Stat of the day, stat of the day. It is the stat of the day. Stat of the day, stat of the day. It is the stat of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
Dan, Shohei Ohtani has as many home runs, 3 in 18 at-bats, as the Miami Marlins do in 336 at-bats.
Of course.
Yeah. I got another one if you want.
Sure.
You want the open again? Or
No, just give me the other stat. Thank you.
Giancarlo Stanton is the first player in the live ball era to have 2 games with 0 hits and 5 strikeouts in the same season. We're 10 games into the season.
All right. Right now, Giancarlo Stanton doesn't seem to be playing with a great deal of confidence. Speaking of which, Guillermo.
Yes, Dan?
Guillermo, you are pretend confident, but I just saw you very stiffly dancing to the stat of the day music, and you were doing it kind of scared, and you were stiff and scared because there are buttons to push in Mike's absence. And so when you've hit a button and music actually plays, you have a scared relief dance that you do.
Well, that was also after, I don't know if you caught on to this, Dan, about 5 seconds of dead air before Justin Bieber started playing because...
Why are you scared of everything back there?
The world's a scary place, Dan.
You're so right, though. He just goes to the dancing. When he's really nervous, it's the dancing.
He was so relieved to hear my father singing because he knew my father would be singing. There! It's good to see him grow, Guillermo. Get some confidence. Prove to Will King you got something between your legs. We got to go to the Magic Crate of Content.
Yep, good call here. There you go.
All right, the Magic Crate of Content is something we have to stop whatever we're doing, no matter what it is. It takes precedent over all things when that music plays. And so Stugotz is rummaged around in the Crate of Content, and the question is as follows. What is your favorite chain restaurant?
Ow.
What is your favorite chain restaurant?
Who are the sponsors?
I'll go first. Chili's. That 2 for $20 menu. Mwah.
You like Chili's better than Houston's?
Houston's still open?
I will tell you this. Houston's has, I will say this confidently, Houston's has the best spinach dip I've ever had. Period. End of discussion.
Houston's a little pricey for us producers.
Yeah, that's not a chain restaurant, Dan.
What do you mean
it's
not
fancy
a chain
dining?
restaurant?
Yeah.
Fancy dining?
Yeah.
Put that on the poll. Is Houston's you guys are not aware. Fancy dining?
It's a bit fancy.
It's not fast food.
I'm going Buffalo Wild Wings. B-dubs, wings, beer, sports.
The way you gauge a fancy restaurant or not is can you go there in thong sandals?
I mean, I think I could go to Houston's in thong.
Well, you'll go anywhere in anything.
I'm telling you right now, you go to the Houston's in Aventura and you go in there with thong sandals, you're getting kicked out.
No, that's not
a little
true.
hoity-toity up there.
Houston's is not kicking me out hoity-toity for thong sandals.
Well, because you're famous. You guys like thong sandals over slides? I don't like thong sandals. They bother my toes.
I've recently adopted the thong sandal. It's good.
I like it.
The content box failed us.
Well, what?
Because favorite chain restaurants, we didn't do very well with it.
No one else said theirs.
I think it's the first time that the content that there wasn't magic in the Magic Creative content. We're gonna try it again. What are we gonna try it again? All right. Well, we just got a faulty one.
I mean, I just gave you the best spinach dip in the history of America. I mean, go ahead, top it.
Where can you?
I dare you. I dare anyone. The best ever.
All right, where is the best spinach dip? Anything? Facts
I just
and
told
info?
you.
I know you did, but I'm like, if somebody wanted to argue with you about who had the best spinach dip,
there'd be no argument. But feel free to try.
I mean, Chili's has a good spinach dip.
Yeah,
It's Houston's. You can't argue with
Thank you,
that.
Allison.
Yes.
Thank you.
The 2 for $20 really is such a good deal, Dan. You've never done.
hold
2
on a
for 20
second.
at any
I don't think this magic box is working. How are the Vegas Golden Knights doing this?
It's a great question.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's an expansion team who I believe they're the 1 seed out west, and so that is a fair question. How are they doing
I don't
this?
think the box is working. I don't think the magic is working in the box. The magic box of content has to produce something slightly better than Golden Knights and favorite chain restaurant. One more chance here before we just. I mean, wait a minute. If this doesn't produce magic, are we done with the box? Do we want to put some stakes on this? Do we want to put some stakes on this? If this does not produce magic,
Off day, Dan. It's a Stanton day for the box.
What about what's your favorite chain breakfast place? Because there it's easy. IHOP.
Wow.
Uh-oh, this doesn't look good.
Mark Zuckerberg, heaven or hell? Mark Zuckerberg, heaven or hell? We're back, baby. We're back.
Very interesting question. Say hi to Art Briles when you get there for me.
Oh, a ruling has been made. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, my favorite. Wow, what a coincidence.
Guillermo's falling apart. He's falling apart. There it is.
Ah.
Confidence leaking. Incompetence rising.
Can you believe B-Dub's here after I just said that? I mean,
aren't you damn scared? Relief to this music, Guillermo. Buffalo Wild Wings. Just because college basketball is over does not mean that the party at Buffalo Wild Wings ends. No, sir. You can watch baseball and the hockey and pro basketball playoffs there as well. They got new items on the menu. Tell them, got.
There's a new boss in town at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he deals in bacon. Oh, my God. That's the greatest opening sentence to any copy I've ever read. There's a new boss in town at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he deals in bacon. Well, I love B-Dubs, man. It's the Bacon Boss Burger, featuring bacon 3 different ways and a blanket of white cheese sauce. Delicious. And he's joined by other new favorites, like the smothered cheesesteak quesadillas, sweet chili shrimp, oh my God, and Alaskan cod classic. All pair perfectly with a 76, a fruity ale with the crisp finish of a lager. That's a Sam 76, by the way. Sam 76.
Stugotz know how to read.
It's a Sam 76.
I mean, he's a professional broadcaster.
Oh, I'm milking it for B-Dubs right now. I want people to let it just let it sit. I want you to kind of taste the food. That's what I'm doing. Going really slowly here. Again, smothered cheesesteak quesadillas, sweet chili shrimp, and Alaska cod classic, all perfectly paired with a Sam 76, which is a fruity ale with the crisp finish of a lager.
Oh, delicious.
Oh. Go there after the show, right?
Oh, I'll meet you there.
We'll drive together. Hurry in today and try them all before they're gone at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports available for a limited time while supplies last. Please drink responsibly.
Sometimes it's hard to find a satisfying vape that's simple and convenient. Blue, who introduced vaping to the world, is now introducing My Blue. My Blue gives you all the satisfaction with none of the hassle. Just click and go. With My Blue's easy-to-use one...
Don Lebatard. People who love this show tend to really, really love Stugotz.
Thank you.
Stugotz. I mean, Yeah, the love is unreasonable for a man of your despicable core.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Gonna make you feel old in a second here by telling you movies that are 30 years old this year. But let's do funniest thing from the long sports weekend here. Let's bounce around the room. We've got Mean Gene Okerlund coming on with us in about 12 minutes, and then the lead singer for some death metal band,
Avenged Sevenfold,
is going to be on with us to break down the Masters.
Hey, people, tell us what in the sport made you laugh hardest this weekend. It is a segment we call What Made You Laugh This Weekend. Ha, ha, ha!
Funniest thing from the sports weekend is brought to you by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet?
Die Hard, Stugotz, is 30 years old this year. Wow. Rambo 3 is 30 years old this year.
Classic.
Rain Man is 30 years old this year.
So.
Coming to America, 30 years old.
Classic.
The Naked Gun, 30 years old.
Did you like Naked Gun?
I did.
Yeah, it was great.
Do you think it holds up?
It doesn't. I mean, at least for me, it does. I saw it recently, and it did not hold up.
Oh, that's a good question. Put it on the poll, please, Allison. Does The Naked Gun hold up? You know this is going to get 5 blood fists from Stugotz. Bloodsport is 30 years old. Bloodsport is 30 years old this year. Colors. Twins. Somebody thought Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito teaming together was movie magic. That was a thing someone thought.
Yep. Dreadful. I think they raked it in, though, at the box office. I'm not joking.
Probably. Funniest thing from the sports weekend, Chris. What do you have?
Golfer John Rahm unsuccessfully breaking an iron over his knee after a bad shot.
That's your golfer, by the way. He is a strange dude, man. Wears the pants way too tight. And I'm telling you, even when he hits, every time he tees off, he yells 4. And he acts like someone's in some sort of danger. And then the ball goes straight down the middle of the fairway. He's a crazy person, man.
Allison, what was the funniest thing from the long sports weekend?
Adult males attending WrestleMania.
That's okay. Yes, that is Mike Ryan.
So Mike.
He is still there, soaked in WrestleMania and hurricanes, Bourbon Street hurricanes. Roy, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
Udonis Haslam eating Chick-fil-A a day after keeping Hawks fans from free Chick-fil-A.
Oh, nice. So Udonis Haslam.
Well done.
It's the punctuation on UD's career right there, denying Atlanta fans of their rightful chicken. Guillermo, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
At WrestleMania, there was a sign that said, Stugotz Mania.
The Stugotz Army is growing.
I love it.
Stugotz, what was your funniest thing from the sports weekend?
According to Mike Schaefer on Twitter, Nebraska quarterback coach Mario Verduzco doesn't believe in days of the week.
You don't sound like you're reading at all.
Quarterback coach Mario Verduzco.
Can you play that Trey Wingo sound? Honestly, what are you doing?
I've never heard of the guy.
If you're going to say the funniest thing from the sports weekend, you can't go with somebody's name you don't know that sounds that much like reading.
According to Mike Schaefer on Twitter, Nebraska quarterback coach Mario Verduzco doesn't believe in days of the week. Why? Every day is game day.
You ruined it.
Sorry.
I've got a couple of things here. You see how the Padres lost the other day?
No. Who's watching Padres games?
Well, if they end this way, it's a routine pop-up to, Eric Hosmer. It's to end the inning.
Whoa.
They're going to go to extra innings. Yes,
Whoa.
yes, Eric Hosmer is a Padre.
Buried the lead.
Yes, Eric Hosmer is a Padre. Yes. That's a thing that happened this offseason. He got millions and millions of dollars.
Incredible.
And he came in running from first base. It's the most routine of pop-ups. And the guy on second is just running because he's like, okay, I'm out. The inning's over, and we're going to keep playing baseball. And then just drops there. There it is, game-winning hit. Walk-off. Cheapest walk-off in the history of walk-offs. I also like Bubba Watson putting the ball into the bunker. How do you beat that? How does that even happen? You're a professional golfer. You've won that tournament.
That's one of those things that could happen at that golf tournament, but this one was just him looking like he's aiming into the bunker. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Can I try again?
I mean, sure.
During a Celtic game, did you see this, by the way? Make it more conversational.
Thank you. Yes.
During the Celtic game, okay, a fan was begging a guy to miss a free throw because he had that team minus 6.5. Here's the sound courtesy of ESPN.
Feel each other's pain.
-6.5. Miss this one.
That's courtesy NBC Sports Boston.
Bingo.
Stugotz.
I got it from the NBA.
No, you got
ESPN NBA tweeted out.
Stugotz, look, you have been a total disaster this segment, getting in everyone's way, including with a segment that is funniest thing from the sports weekend, doing the poorest read I've ever heard in the history of your bad reading.
Can I try again? See this Jimmy Butler, Nick Friedel thing?
Why do you keep changing? You just went to sound, Stugotz, that Billy vetoed 4 times that you forced on the show. He told us 4 times that sound was not airable because you couldn't hear any of it. You just forced it down his throat with a ball gag.
That was a good line. Anyway, Patrick Reed, how about that? See his tan line when he took his hat off? How about Stanton, 5 strikeouts? Double golden sombrero. Funny.
Next. You're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie. This does look fun. Whee-oh! You melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%.
Stugotz here for Hotel Tonight. If you get really excited like I do about staying in cool hotels, then you really need Hotel Tonight. It's amazing. You may have heard me talk about it over the past few weeks. Hotel Tonight partners with great hotels to get you incredible deals for tonight, tomorrow, and beyond. That's right. Don't be fooled by the name. It's not just for tonight. You got to get this app, guys. I'm telling you, you can wait until the last minute and still score a crazy good deal at a super cool hotel. Or you can actually book it in advance if you're more of a planner. You'll be amazed at how quickly and easy it is to use. They've got little profiles of each hotel with a fun summary of all the info you need to know and pictures of what the rooms really look like. It's fun to just open the app and daydream about where you could go, all the great places you could stay, and the deals are so good that, guess what? You actually can go there. So download the Hotel Tonight app and start booking better deals at better hotels right now. Something better just came along. Hotel Tonight.
Great news. There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price. And it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
Don Le Batard.
Tom Ricketts is saying that the Cubs will not allow Sammy Sosa back into that organization for anything moving forward until he comes clean. And what I find absurd about that, and what a hypocrite this guy is that family made hundreds of millions of dollars off the name Sammy Sosa. By the way, he never tested positive for steroid use. And if he was using steroids, which we all assume that he was, my guess is if he was using it, the Ricketts family had an inkling that was going on in their own clubhouse. And for him to come out many, many years later and say Sammy Sosa must come clean for us to allow him back into our prestigious organization, our club, get out of here with that.
Stugotz. Yeah, Ricketts didn't make money off Sammy Sosa. He won the bid in 2009. This was post-Sammy Sosa.
Well, that ruins my argument.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
WrestleMania is what we cover around here instead of the Masters, and so we go out to Mean Gene Okerlund, the legendary voice and face for so many wrestling things. It was a fun WrestleMania weekend. And also, Stugotz, is that Andre the Giant documentary? Is that coming out tomorrow? Is HBO doing that tomorrow?
It comes up tomorrow night on HBO.
Nice. Oh, what? Thank you, Mean Gene. It's good to hear from you again. What are you looking forward to in that documentary? When you're in the documentary, when you were talked to, what are the kinds of things you talked about?
Totally forget. No, I'm talking about Andre, of course, and his storied past, which has been well documented. But I'm looking forward to the guys that have seen this documentary say it is lights out. So,
well, it must be though. Mean Gene, like I'm trying to think of. We talked to you last time you were on with us about greatest wrestlers ever. But if we were if we were to do most interesting lives, you saw ESPN just did a 30 for 30 with Ric Flair. If I asked you for most interesting life that you've chronicled in wrestling, who do you think is the most interesting story? Because it's got to be pretty close to Andre the Giant.
well, totally a different path for both of those gentlemen. Andre, I think, took the high road, and Ric Flair probably was all over the place. I'm taking a look at the Times-Picayune, not to interrupt you guys. By the way, Jonathan Coachman did say hi.
Oh, for the love of God!
I think that's what he said. Anyway, in the Times-Picayune,
You're a troublemaker, Mean Gene. You really are. Look at him.
Yeah,
listen to him snickering in the background. Listen to him.
You're damn right, but you guys have guests on and then to laugh them off the air. But anyway, the headline is Ronda Mania. And I mean, she stole the show at the WrestleMania last night in the Superdome. 78,133. Here's the subhead on the front page. Louisiana's Patrick Reed wins first majors title at Masters. And you guys were touting the Masters as being a big deal. It is, but nothing like WrestleMania.
Wait a minute. Wait, Mean Gene, what did you do? I was asking you, Andre the Giant. What?
Hey, listen, I'm taking over here.
Yeah.
Batard, you kind of run roughshod on your guests here lately, and I've noticed that. And it's time for me to throw in my 2 bits worth.
Okay.
Some things I'd like to talk about.
That a boy, Gene.
Okay.
Hold on. Excuse me, gentlemen. Yeah, a Bloody Mary, tomato juice, lemon. Thank you. Double vodka. What was it you were saying?
Tell me more about Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, Mean Gene.
Oh, well, of course, it was a tag team affair. Her and Kurt Angle going against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, that's husband and wife team, who are now worth $250 million. Thanks to the success of WrestleMania and the WWE. But a great match. I mean, the place came apart, and people I don't think were really expecting a lot from the UFC gal, but she turned the house upside down.
All right, the UFC
really
gal.
Did.
We need to be careful.
Even the locker room. What are you going to say?
I'm just Mean
Gene is 75 years old and just ordered a Bloody Mary on a Monday morning.
I understand, but I wanted to talk to you about some of the other storylines there at WrestleMania. Which one was your favorite? How is it? Explain this to me, Mean Gene, because I believe this is all scripted when a 10-year-old boy is holding a title.
Nicholas, yeah, teaming up with Braun Strowman. They did win the tag team titles. How the hell he did it, I don't know, but I did team up on an OTO one time with Hulk Hogan, so I guess I kind of understand the psychology.
I do want to talk to you about that. That's right. You were in a tag team match, and Hulk Hogan was your partner, correct? You wrestled.
He was indeed. We faced Mr. Fuji and George the Animal Steel.
How did you do? I don't recall how that match went. Please tell me more.
Well, I've never lost a match. I was in 5 of them total in 47 years, and never lost a match. So obviously we won that. I got the pin.
Really?
I hurt,
you got the pin?
Hurt myself.
Wow.
I got the pin. I got the pin on Fuji.
Wow. That is tremendous.
How'd you hurt yourself?
How did I hurt myself? I fell over the bottom ring rope. I caught one of those big boots that they wear.
So wait a minute, can you tell us about the other 5 matches in your career, or the other 4?
Yeah, don't do this to me. I'm not an athlete.
But I didn't know.
Like Bobby Heenan would say to you.
But you're undefeated.
I am undefeated. But, I'm the smart guy. I pick my spots.
All right.
What was your move, though? Like to pin down, what was your move?
How did you defeat Fuji?
I had no moves, guy. Please. Checkbook in the back room, and that was it.
All right. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, okay? I want to talk to you again tomorrow. We'll talk
no. We're not going to talk tomorrow.
No, that's it.
But I will give you a buzz here in a couple of weeks.
Well, you're really, Gene, you're really bossing us around today. What's going on with you? You're really feisty today.
Well, I had kind of a tough night, guys. Tell you the truth, there is a lot of celebration at this event, and after you do it 4 nights in a row, you're pretty ragged. and guys like Pat Patterson, who's 2 or 3 years older than I am, and myself getting together and reliving the old days, it gets to be a little tough.
Okay.
You and Nicholas were out celebrating?
Tough on the body, yeah.
I understand. You are the best, Mean Gene. We'll talk to you soon.
Very good, gentlemen. Have a good week.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
The bifocal eyeglasses.
Stugotz.
Marcus Mariota, growing up right in front of our eyes.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Do you guys love Mean Gene Okerlund as much as I do?
Oh, my God. I would say maybe consistently over the years, Mean Gene's been one of our 10 best guests. Consistently over 15 years.
Is that accurate? Guillermo, are you willing to dispute or rebut or support that claim?
He's up there with Richard Lewis and Bob Einstein and
Alan Thicke.
Yeah. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Dan, consistently, he makes us laugh. He makes us happy. He tells good stories. Consistently.
He's like only the second person to tell you, no, I'm not coming back, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So, I mean, what is it? Is he just tired of us? It was probably something that he ran into with Coachman, right? Coachman said, don't go on with those guys anymore.
Sorry about
right?
that.
That's probably what happened, right?
Maybe, but I like to think that Mean Gene thinks, for himself. He's not going to be swayed by Jonathan Coachman or anyone.
Time now for Stugotz's weekend observations.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Dan, a few weeks ago, I said golf was back and black. Today, I'm saying it's not back and definitely not black. It's just Patrick Reed.
Yeah.
Well, everyone showed up to Augusta over the weekend. The media, the fans, the hype, the young guns, everyone, except the two people we most wanted to show up. Tiger Woods, do it in a major. Tiger plus Phil equals nothing. There's a new name for a person who doesn't show up for a big event. Its new name is Tiger Woods. Boston Celtics went from a team no one wanted to face in the postseason to a team everyone wants to face in the postseason. Kyrie Irving. More like Kynie Irving. Shohei Ohtani.
Oh.
That was terrible. Yeah, give it to me. Shohei Ohtani. AL Rookie of the Year. Collision course. Shohei Ohtani. AL MVP. Collision course. Shohei Ohtani. AL Cy Young. Collision course. Shohei Ohtani. Cooperstown. Collision course.
Wow.
The Shohei Kid. Ohtani. More like Gotani. Or Wotani. Oh, man! Wait a second.
You were getting on a roll there, and it fell apart. The wheels fell off.
Gotani?
That's terrible.
Wotani? You ever seen a guy pitch? Perfect game, 11 Ks, into the 6th inning. 3 days before that, hits a home run, another home run, another home run. Wotani! No. Congratulations to the Angels. After 5 long years of having the best player in baseball on their team, they finally have a player that we actually care about. Justin Thomas looks like golf. Congratulations, Dana White. You've officially become wrestling. Reporters who think Connor let down his fans, please wake up. The only thing that Connor did to let down his fans was not destroy more buses. Dana, when you're pretending to be outraged by what Connor did, maybe don't put up an HD version of the video on your Instagram and end the video with an ad for UFC 223. The Undertaker took 15 minutes to walk to the ring for a match that lasted 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Old man walking. Ricky Fowler, do it in a major. Saw Lady Bird over the weekend. Not terrible. 3 out of a possible 4. Blood Fist. Still not as good as Larry Bird. Fred Couples in contention to start the third round and out of contention after the third round. A tradition unlike any other. If you have anyone other than the Cavs making it out of the East, I'm giving you one final opportunity to take it back. You've been warned.
Okay, right now, this is it. This is the final opportunity.
You in particular.
Hold on. So what is the opportunity being offered to me right now?
I am offering you one final opportunity to say the Cavaliers will make it out of the East and advance to the NBA Finals.
Like they always do.
Like they always do. This is your like he always does.
That's right.
They don't always do it. Whatever team he's on always does it.
Right.
This is your final opportunity to jump on board with me.
The final opportunity?
This is it.
I'm not going to be able to negotiate this again.
Nope. Now or never.
All right.
Do or die.
I'm on your side.
Yeah!
After a season of basketball analysis, the analysis before the playoffs is officially as endorsed and notarized by the Le Batard Show with Stugotz. Yeah, LeBron's always going to get to the final.
All right, everyone else, you've been warned. You have until COB today to text me your picks.
Really?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, text me your picks.
That's it.
COB. Brent Brown, be careful. With each passing win comes greater expectations. Jay Wright, Sixers head coach, collision course. Jesus, on 3 separate occasions. My wife asked me who the guy in the orange pants was.
Oh, no.
It was Ricky Fowler.
Oh, no.
And you know what? I don't blame her. He's dreamy. Ricky Fowler, best eyes in sports.
Really?
Oh, Dan, those eyes.
Oh, put it on the poll.
Those eyes.
Does Ricky Fowler have the best eyes in sports?
He does. The Hybrid by Jordan Spieth on the 13th hole out of the Pine Needles. One of the most impressive things I've seen in the history of sports. The back 9 at Augusta. Best 2 hours in sports. Patrick Reed. Not sure what it is, but I don't like you. Jordan Spieth. The stuff of legends. Jordan Spieth. Thank you for saving the Masters. You know what you call someone who talks a big game but doesn't back it up? Rory McIlroy. Jake Arrieta.
McIlroy.
Whatever. He doesn't deserve for me to know his name. Jake Arrieta. What happened? Raptors. Eastern Conference Finals. Collision course. Just can't put my finger on it. What annoys me about Patrick Reed? Thor. DeGrom. Mats. Harvey. Watch out. Red Sox. Mets. World Series. Collision course. Congratulations to the Hornets for showing real vision and imagination with the hiring of their new general manager, Mitch Kupchak. That name will never not make me laugh.
It's visionary work by Michael Jordan there, seeing the basketball wisdom in the soul of Mitch Kupchak.
Giancarlo Stanton might need another hat rack for all these platinum sombreros. Shooting a 67 in the final round of the Masters is the second most impressive thing Ricky Fowler did yesterday. I figured it out with Patrick Reed. What about him annoys me? It's his face. The story of this Masters wasn't what Jordan Spieth did. It's what Rory McIlroy didn't do. I don't care. Jordan Spieth, maybe the greatest round in the history of golf. It was Patrick Reed over Jordan Spieth by a tree limb. The guy threatening everyone, calling them selfish, threatening to call the cops because his car was boxed in at a park in Parkland. Do me a favor. Go to hell. That's where Art Briles lives.
All right.
Say hi for me.
All right.
Dan.
There it is.
Those are the weekend observations.
This is just such a you move. Tiger's back, Tiger's back, Tiger's back. This is the greatest Masters ever. Tiger's back, Tiger's back. Oh, he's not back. He's a disappointment. Show up for a major.
Here's the problem, man. It's just a joke. I love Tiger. Okay, but here's the problem. Tiger didn't provide us. I don't care that he wasn't in contention. I don't care. It would have been nice for him to have been in one of those final pairings. Okay? He didn't provide us with a single moment. Not one fist pump, not one, roar from the gallery. We didn't get any of that. And we just wanted one.
Nothing.
Yeah, we got nothing.
He didn't give you nothing.
And neither did Phil. I mean, Phil, maybe the first 2 days, maybe a little something, but nothing from Tiger.
And then Bubba just puts it into a bunker.
Yeah.
M. Shadows, a death metal lead singer, talks golf with us next.
Don Le Batard.
I mean, Stugotz is the physical manifestation of the comment section come to life. Do you agree with that assessment that you are a comment section come to life?
100%.
It's, I wouldn't take such pride in that.
I do.
Stugotz.
But I want you to imagine Stugotz rising up from the gutter. Like, what you're looking at right now is a gutter. Only a gutter. And now it starts as a face, and the mouth gets bigger, and it just keeps growing, and then just shouts, rings.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So you may have heard the Masters was yesterday, and you may know, if you listen to the show, that Avenged Sevenfold has a lead singer who's beautiful and great, M. Shadows. They've got a new album, The Stage. It's available now. They kick off their tour in July with Prophets of Rage, because, of course, it's Prophets of Rage.
I said earlier, Ricky Fowler has the best eyes anywhere in sports.
Yeah.
Now, M. Shadows is not really in sports, but I think M. Shadows, if I had to choose a pair of eyes, I'd go M. Shadows' eyes over Ricky Fowler's.
He's very beautiful. Okay, so let's break this down. Again, if you want more information on heavy metal, visit AvengedSevenfold.com. So, Tiger disappoints you? M. Shadows, were you disappointed by Tiger Woods?
Oh, man, of course I was. I got up early on Thursday and was looking forward to the big comeback. And then, just to make the cut barely and be out of it was entirely disappointing. But I think the end of the Masters was still pretty cool. I mean, there was some drama with Spieth and McIlroy, and you got Ricky Fowler. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it always delivers. But here's the thing with Tiger, M. Shadows. We didn't get a single moment. Like, I'm fine with Tiger not competing, not being in one of the final pairings, but I wonder if you agree. We didn't get a single Tiger moment during the Masters.
We didn't get one moment. And then for him to just, par all those par fives and not be able to execute on anything, it was just like you're rooting for him, and it just wasn't there. It's just really, really disappointing.
Did you view Rory as choking?
I don't know if yes and no. I mean, you're going head to head against Patrick Reed, and you're right there in it, so it kind of is choking. The guy's staying steady, especially when Rory parred that first hole on Sunday, and Reed was all over the place. And I thought, okay, Rory's going to kick his butt, and that's just not the case.
Hold on a second.
So he choked. You want me to teach him, huh?
Well, yeah, please. Stugotz, M. Shadows, just stand back for a second here, because you need you got some learning here to do, because you can't be, did he choke, yes and no, like you're waffling. There's not too much nuance. So those
Shadows, listen, if I was learning heavy metal, I'd come to you for a lesson, okay?
That's right.
But on hot takes, you got to listen to me,
yes,
okay?
Melting, yes.
Okay.
So next time we ask you a question, there's no maybe so, yeah, maybe a little bit of both. It's just you got to give a definitive answer. And in this case, the definitive answer is absolutely, he choked. You cannot be Rory McIlroy. I don't care if I'm saying his name correctly or not. You cannot be the guy after the third round who comes out after the third round and says all the pressure's on Patrick Reed. And I've learned a lot from 4 years ago when I blew it in the final round at Augusta with a 4-shot lead. You can't be the guy talking all the smack on Saturday night and then come out on Sunday telling everyone Patrick Reed got all the pressure on him, and you're the guy who has the worst round of the day. You can't do it. That is a terrible job by Rory McIlroy. Forget about about Jordan Spieth, because this wasn't about what Jordan Spieth did yesterday. In my mind, it's about what Rory didn't do yesterday. All he had to shoot was like a 2 or 3 under, and he's got the green coat. He's got the career Grand Slam. He didn't. That's all he has to do. Rory could do that in his sleep, M. Shadows, and he didn't do it. And therefore, he choked. And he choked big time.
Yes. Thank you. Everybody, hold on, M. Shadows. We got to get, yes. All right. So now let's gather ourselves again. Thank you, Stugotz.
I agree. I'm too nice. I got to be, you're right. I'm going to tell you the truth from here on out. I was playing my line. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you. So let's try it again. Did Rory choke?
Yes, he choked. Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Yes.
This guy's got the spirit of metal coursing through his bones. Patrick Reed, is he somebody that you cared, whether he won or lost?
I actually cared more that he would lose. Something irks me about him, and I really, by the end of the thing, I really wanted Fowler to be in a playoff with him. That's all I wanted to see. I'm a big Ricky Fowler fan. And it just didn't happen. And I think, every step of the way, it just kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, I experienced it the same way. And I was trying to figure, all weekend, what bothers me about Patrick Reed? It's the face, right? It's the face.
Is it the face?
It might be the face, definitely.
Okay, but all right, but I don't know.
Whole demeanor.
All right, your whole demeanor, though. But you're a metal guy. This is what I don't understand. The idea that you would wander over to golf and judge this guy's demeanor is weird from your position, is it not?
No, it's weird. It sucks. I wish I wasn't doing that, but I'm telling the truth, man. It's something about him irks me. I didn't want him to win, and I liked the trash talk with him and Rory. I don't even like Rory McIlroy, and I really wanted him to win in the beginning of the day. So it was almost anyone but Patrick Reed.
M. Shadows, you're not going to watch the Masters together next year. That's exactly how I experienced. I always root for the American flag, but in this case, I was rooting for an England flag. It was unbelievable. A British flag, whatever.
Strange. It was a weird feeling.
It was weird, right? I would have rooted for Vijay Singh over Patrick Reed. Anybody.
Oh, anyone. Yeah, it was weird. And then the whole weekend was weird for me. I mean, did you see that the ankle thing too?
Yeah.
When the guy, oh God, man, what a strange weekend. Yeah. But it was cool.
I think it was Tony Finau. Yeah, he dislocated his ankle, then played the next day, and he was actually, I think he was the leader after the first round and right atop the leaderboard. It was,
what's some before we let you go again? Avenged Sevenfold's album, The Stage, is available now. They kicked off their tour. They kick off their tour in July with Prophets of Rage. For more information, visit AvengedSevenfold.com. M. Shadows with us, breaking down golf here. Any other observations from the Masters that you think the world needs to have shared?
Oh, man. I think Spieth, McIlroy, and Fowler have solidified their place in the new young guns that are just the guys to watch. I think Mickelson's, struggling a lot. I don't know if you guys watched everything, but the missed shot in the woods on the second or third day. I think the young guys are the ones to watch, and I think they solidified it this weekend. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome to watch them, but I really do hope Tiger gets back in the hunt. That's going to make it even more exciting.
So tell us about the sex and the drugs.
There's lots of sex and lots of drugs.
Yeah.
No, as
this weekend,
as you get older, for all of us players that can't play in the Masters, we just have lots of sex and do a lot of drugs. So as we watch those other players do it, but no. There's not much to say about it. We like to keep it pretty closed door.
Really? So forgive my ignorance on this. I thought that this was something that bands celebrated.
Well, you know what? We live in a different generation now. The generation of iPhones and technology and YouTube, and you got to be pretty ballsy to be doing stuff out in the open these days because the country and people judge you a lot differently than they used to in the 60s. What used to be cool in the 60s is now frowned upon by just about everybody.
This does not feel like the spirit of heavy metal. Like the spirit of heavy metal does not care what others think about how you're received.
I guess I'm a little more socially conscious. And I have kids, so I do care a little bit what they think of me. I try to be a good dad. So,
all right, nice.
He
really is a good golf analyst. All right, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check in with you next golf tournament.
M. Shadows, have you tried to get on Augusta? Have you tried to do this at all, or?
So my booking agent is a member there, and he's been dangling that carrot in front of my face for a long time. I haven't played there yet, but I I think it's going to happen pretty soon, and it will be a dream come true.
M Shadows, me and you. What do you think? Me and you. There's a budding friendship here. We're going to watch Augusta together next year. I will take care of that, okay? I mean, we'll be inside the ropes. We'll be VIP all the way through, okay? I haven't checked with anyone at ESPN, but I'm telling you, I'll get it done. Okay. So I do that for you, and me and you go play Augusta together. It seems like a fair deal.
I will make it happen.
Yes!
I'll make it happen.
M Shadows, I love you and your eyes.
Okay, but I don't know whether Stugotz is going to be able to deliver on all the things that he just promised you, but we will tune in soon with M Shadows. So we will thank you for your time, sir.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, keep me posted.
Bye.
Winning at sports and at sports broadcasting means changing things up. Just like La Quinta Inns and Suites is changing up their look. A renovated lobby that's so contemporary it even makes Golick look cool. Yes, it does. And a totally updated fitness center that even has Wingo feeling like a workout. I'm ripped. Plus plenty of comfortable spaces to hang out. Yep, this La Quinta look definitely has a vibe of victory. So you can just relax, refresh, and get ready for your next big meeting. Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites. Book now at LQ.com.
Don Le Batard.
Did you know that Jose Canseco's finger fell off during a poker game?
We did a good show today, man.
68% of the audience said no. That's all we got today.
Is that all?
Our job is done.
Stugotz.
That's a quality program we put together.
Good job, everyone.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
What are you laughing about?
Just some of the polls that we have today.
All right. At Le Batard Show is where you vote on the polls. One of the cool things that's been happening around here is Jim Brockmeyer has been polluting the premises lately, and he will be on Highly Questionable today. He is the co-host today on Highly Questionable, 4:30 Eastern. It will be me, Poppy, and Jim Brockmeyer, the drug-fueled, booze-fueled, sex-fueled baseball broadcaster that Hank Azaria plays on IFC's Brockmeyer show.
So he got the call over me? Israel busy?
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Izzy was busy. And so we went and got Jim Brockmeyer. I love something that just scrolled across the screen. I'm just going to read the sentence and I'm going to move on. I don't know what this is. I just found it to be a funny way to get this news delivered to me. Anthony Rendon ejected after saying nothing to umpire. I don't have any information on that story other than the sentence I just read you. So maybe some of you in the audience are saying to yourself, wow, that's funny because I saw it. But that's funny even if you didn't see it. It just scrolled across my screen, and now I've got a ton of questions.
And then his manager came out and got ejected and tried kicking Clay on the home plate and just couldn't do it. It's the weirdest video ever. Like, he couldn't get friction on the clay with his foot, so he's trying to dirty the plate up, and he just couldn't do it.
Then, oh wait, no, that was another game. Never mind.
All right, $2.
Oh, man.
So, do you think
that hurt, man?
Well, because there was another thing at home plate. Yadier Molina got in a fight with the manager. Did you see that one, Dan? That was another game.
You back away from the microphone. You give yourself a 2-minute penalty. You go sit in the other room for a while.
Wow,
I don't have any idea what you just did to produce that segment.
Tried to save it, though.
Okay, get out of here. I now want to begin ripping this M Shadows, this heavy metal fraud, this bogus heavy metal fraud. This guy is supposed to be the face of heavy metal. I didn't know heavy metal still had a face in the modern age, but this is the beautiful guy who's going to ride heavy metal into the sky because he's a young person who loves heavy metal.
Yeah.
And he comes on here and he's driving around in a minivan and he's telling me how to parent my kids. And he's, he doesn't want to tell any stories because he's got kids to raise and he doesn't like the etiquette in golf.
Not exactly Ozzy Osbourne.
What kind of conservative heavy metal person is this? The heavy metal person who's struggling to actually be heavy metal.
Fighting it.
Like, do you want to be heavy metal or not? Because you sound like Suburban Dad.
I love it, though. Heavy metal singer by now.
I love it, too, but I just don't understand because I don't know the music and I don't know his band. And so this bogus guy comes on here and we're talking to him and I'm like, hey, he's a rock star, heavy metal. Tell me about sex and drugs. No, the kids wouldn't like it. And I care about how people look at me in the streets. It's like, who are you?
Let's go back to golf.
Wait, I'm right.
Just very indecisive about whether Rory choked or not.
So everyone in the audience loved him.
Loved M Shadows. Loved them. I'm serious.
But again, he is a responsible heavy metal fraud. And I want it disproven. Somebody disprove it.
I love that you directed anybody that wants any information on metal.
Any on heavy metal, I sent him to that website. I did.
The entire genre.
I did do that. That is something I did in the last segment. I said, if you want any information on heavy metal, you go to their website, but it's just going to be like a conservative website because this heavy metal crock is scared of everything.
That got more people to go there than would have gone.
You're right. I got to go to the website right now. See what's around there.
At Le Batard Show on Twitter. Let's go ahead and update the polls at Le Batard Show on Twitter.
Oh, God, funny. All right, do the Marlins need to delete that account? 90% of the audience said yes. Should I be the new Marlins man now that Marlins man is a free agent? Guillermo put that up there. We want Guillermo to be the new Marlins man. 89% of the audience said yes.
Wow.
Is your baseball team crawling through sewage in hell if it utters the sentence, R.A. Dickey is still out there? That's why I was specifically.
He's still available and he eats innings. I'm telling you, it's not a terrible idea.
Read that sentence again, please. Please read that sentence again.
Is your baseball team crawling through sewage in hell if it utters the sentence, R.A. Dickey is still out there? Great question.
47-year-old knuckleballer.
Yeah, but he eats innings, man.
Poorly.
Save your bullpen. 91% of the audience said yes. Does LeBron control everybody's destiny? 84% of the audience said yes.
What a terrible burden.
Would LeBron beat the Heat wearing Nike boots? 83% of the audience said yes. What happened at the end of the Nets game? Was that the baby's fault?
Oh, wait a minute. Eric Spoelstra had a baby. My parents are blaming all the things that happened at the end of the Nets game on Eric Spoelstra not being able to sleep because his family just had a baby.
84% of the audience said it was the baby's fault.
It's going to be the difference between the 6 and the 7 in the East. That baby.
Is Patrick Reed Stugotz? 76% of the audience said yes. Does The Rock plus Rampage equal a Stugotz? 72% of the audience said yes. Is Houston's fancy dining?
Ooh, wait a minute. This is an important one.
This is an important one.
Is Houston's, because you guys...
I got to be I'm with Guillermo and Chris and Roy and Allison. Where are you on this? Is it fancy?
No.
See, I'm with the guys. I think it is fancy, especially the one in Aventura. I mean...
It's expensive, but it's not fancy.
All right, and Dan doesn't think... Well, 62% of the audience agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm right.
Oh.
Houston's is not fancy.
Because they're rich. Does the Naked Gun hold up? 61% of the audience said yes. I saw it like 2 weeks ago. It was terrible.
I mean, O.J. Simpson, the way we viewed him is so different.
Does Ricky Fowler have the best eyes in sports? 58% of the audience said yes. Those are the polls.
Thank you. Guillermo, how you holding up?
I mean, not my best day.
Oh, you did fine.
Is this heavy metal guy a fraud, yes or no?
Yes. No?
Maybe. Put on a poll, or?
Am I alone in this?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great that we have a responsible heavy metal guy as our golf expert.
A responsible, conservative, a little scared, scared to give an opinion.
But super hot.
Oh, so hot.